if the product is gas or nothing, तो कितना भी package कर लो ना, मतलब there's no value inside. So that is it, bro.
I mean, we're
Welcome
sitting
to
in a
Baba,
podcast
Aaron,
discussing
and
LinkedIn. So,
the
like,
podcast.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Curious Workforce. Today we are starting with something really cool. We're starting with a new series of our channel and it's called the Hot Desk. And it's for the first time that me and Jason are going to be hosting the entire show together. So why we thought that why not start the series by calling some of our best friends, Aaron and Ritvik. So Aaron and Ritvik, why don't you begin introducing yourselves? Ritvik, would you like to go first?
hello. My name is Ritvik. I am a mechanical engineer by training, and I work as a manufacturing automation engineer in the semiconductor industry. I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering and then my master's in mechanical engineering from Purdue University. And a few things about me is I like to tinker, I like to break things and attempt fixing them. Um, I like to give new intros about myself every single time I attempt to give intros about myself. My name is Ritvik. I am a mechanical engineer by education. I work as a manufacturing automation engineer in the semiconductor industry. I would like to thank you. I would like to introduce you. I have no idea what to say beyond this. My name is Ritvik. I'm a manufacturing automation engineer working in the semiconductor industry in the US. That's what I can say about myself. But I'm also somebody who learns from Aaron.
That's
Let
what
them,
it
let them give some information. I don't know. Let them give some information about them. Not like I learned from Aaron.
is.
And I aspire to help anybody who's watching this. I hope I can be useful.
Hi guys, quickly let me introduce myself. I'm Aaron. I've studied with Ritvik, Jason, and Celine during my mechanical engineering days. I was their senior, and yeah, really wonderful people. But more about me now because this is my time. So yeah, I'm currently pursuing my MBA at XLRI. I'm in between the 2 years, in between the jump from year one to year two. Currently interning as an analyst, as a consultant. Sorry, and yeah, that's something about me. I believe I do like to talk, and that's why I think they invited me to the talk show. Let's see where this goes, guys. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So to begin with, we have taken this topic about LinkedIn and how it is helpful for the new generation, how people are using it for their personal advantages. Is it become like an influencer thing? So much more to talk about. So for the first segment, it is called the real talk, wherein I will be giving questions to everybody in this room. They will be answering that question with real opinions, and I want your answers to be as raw, as real, and as unfiltered as it can be. I hope you all are on LinkedIn. I hope you all have an account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
kind of have to now. I think we kind of have to.
Yeah, it has become a must-have.
So
Overlords at Microsoft want us to be there.
yeah, okay. So do you guys think that LinkedIn is genuinely still useful in like building careers in 2026, or has it become like an Instagram where people only just post about their motivation and what they are doing and trying to feel good about themselves?
So yes, I think LinkedIn is definitely useful, but like any other social media platform, I think there's a lot to be desired when it comes to it being sustainable and it being helpful long term.
I think one key factor here is that LinkedIn is currently becoming or trying to move in the direction of visibility. But I think there's no focus on credibility. It's not about how many posts you post or how many connections you have, but it's about building that on a platform of credibility. So I think it's, yeah, again, not for applause, but more access, and it's important to use that network that you have for an actual and relevant DM, or your uh, building your network per se more than your visibility. I think it's about LinkedIn is more about discovering and being discovered rather than basing your entire personality on just LinkedIn, because it's very difficult to know, like someone who keep posting regularly, and very good posts could be AI generated, and it could also be that he's jobless or she's jobless. So I think it's important to know about value versus attention in this case.
So, like, to add to Aaron's point here, just before the spot, like I was preparing, right? I was trying to create a space in my head where I could talk about LinkedIn for an extended period of time, though that is not something that I like to do in when it comes to normal conversations. But I saw like 7 posts of people just saying, "I'm excited to share this," and I am glad that there are so many people who are excited. But I feel like there's a lot of repetition to there's no authenticity there, right? And I would like to mention one subreddit that I religiously follow. It's called r/LinkedIn Lunatics, where there are like tons of these posts where people misunderstand. I would, to put it kindly, people misunderstand what LinkedIn is meant for. I saw this post this morning of this person who was posting his morning routine on LinkedIn and connecting that
Okay,
to
yeah.
how that leads to success in life. So
I also feel that if you are able to create some value, then you should post on LinkedIn. If you're not able to create value, you are just going to be another ad hoc space in someone's mind that Ritvik just mentioned. You just become like an advertisement that everyone is going to scroll. No one is going to really, what you say, dive into your profile, dive into your journey, because you're not creating any value for them. As long as you're creating some value, you're teaching something through your journey, that's where I feel LinkedIn helps, and that's where you should be visual, or you should showcase what your journey has been on LinkedIn.
somebody who does not have a LinkedIn on face value would not be super useful when it comes to hiring somebody or giving credibility to somebody. But at the same time, if somebody were to reach out to me with their GitHub or with their research papers or their IEEE listings or publications, that would instantly create a better space in my head. And I would treat LinkedIn as a glorified resume that sometimes also has videos.
If you guys were there and now, like if you want to go back and tell your juniors, our juniors, what would you emphasize on that, guys? Listen, keep this aside, and this is what is required to actually go ahead and
Still, firstly, I think yes, there was not a lot of education about LinkedIn when we were there. I think that was like what 6 years ago now. I feel old already, bro. And
You are
I
old,
think
bro.
the thing is for me,
We are at the right moment to move to the second part of this conversation, that is hot takes, because you have some really good hot takes on certain points over here. So we would like to ask you some questions over here, and we would like to know your hot take. You either agree or disagree. You can also have a neutral stand if you want, but it will be nice if you agree or disagree to it. Okay, so let's go to the next part of this conversation, that is the hot takes, where Celine will ask you a question and we'd like to know your opinion on it.
do you guys think that people who are like really successful, like in their careers, they don't post so much on LinkedIn. They just don't care about LinkedIn. But how did they start in it? What are your takes? Yeah,
Can I?
yeah.
I aspire for one thing. I every time I open LinkedIn, I wouldn't say it. Okay, let me compose this well. So I have looked at Jensen.
He's cooking something. He's
Yeah. So
cooking something.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen. I have looked at his profile
Okay.
multiple times now, and the history on his profile is he worked at a Denny's. That's a restaurant here, like a diner.
Yeah.
And the next position that he has is CEO NVIDIA, and that's all I aspire to do. And then maybe other people can get it done, but no, you don't need LinkedIn once. If you've made it, then you don't need to talk about it.
very true, Siddharth, very true. Like if people are really busy, building something, you don't have time to constantly narrate what you're building and how you're building it, bro. Like I think that is maybe like if you're the loudest profile, it does not necessarily mean you're the strongest one. So while there are people
That's a
who
very
constantly
good take,
post
bro.
on
That's
LinkedIn,
genuinely
Jason,
very good
Jason,
take.
delete all your posts on LinkedIn.
Quotes, quotes, quotes of
Jason
the
will go
day.
and
Quotes
delete.
of the day. Say,
Jason will go and
say
delete
it
all his
again.
posts
Say it
on
again,
LinkedIn.
Aaron. Say it again, Aaron. What
I
a
think that
strong quote over there.
yeah. So I think just because you have a loud profile does not mean you have the strongest profile. But yeah, definitely there are people who are who are influencing others and trying to motivate others. That's not wrong. They probably have a good profile, but again, it's percentages. You know what is where and versus how much the people are actually successful. That is important. And I think now with AI, it's very easy to keep posting, bro. So that, or you hire someone to manage your accounts. That is also another way to do it.
Post consistently, okay, and I'm adding value, okay, will I get hired faster than a other person who is probably just broadcasting or doing something else? Okay, more like an influencer point of view, and here I'm adding more value. Will I get hired faster? What do you think?
Who are you adding value to?
To my audience, to my audience,
Then I don't
whoever
think so.
is listening to me, whoever is seeing to me, will I get hired faster?
I genuinely don't think so.
Maybe as a professor, or you can start your own personal brand. But it should also add value to yourself. I believe, posting is different. But as Ritvik said, you need the GitHub, you need the research papers, you need the whole content to it. There's content and there's volume of the content and the depth of the content. So if you have that, I think it's great. You'll get your visibility, you'll get people to maybe knock on your door as well. But once you're in the, you have your foot in through the door at the interview process. It's how you do and how much you actually know. Not to sound too gyani or anything, but yeah, I think Jason, if the product is gas or nothing, तो कितना भी package कर लो ना, मतलब there's no value inside. So that is it, bro.
I mean, but like we're
Welcome
sitting
to
in a
Baba,
podcast
Aaron,
discussing
and
LinkedIn. So
the
like
podcast.
that's the point. Being Gyani is the point.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
can feel the seniority over here. Okay,
he's
that
had a lot
seniority
of
getting skewed
wisdom.
one side.
He
Yeah,
had a
6
lot of
years of
wisdom.
wisdom.
I have some enlightenment, bro. This is
Seen a post and commented on it as per their instructions. Like, they like long posts and comment below for references or comment below for material or something like that.
That's just disgusting, and I feel like that's the part of LinkedIn that is turning into a new Instagram, and that needs to stop. I think out of everything, that is the biggest problem I have. People who go like, "Oh, I have this amazing list of things that I will tell you about, but I will not show you." But now you comment on my post, and then I'll DM you. Why? If you have, just show it to me, or just go live in your own bubble. It is the most annoying shit ever.
But
I
people
agree with
do
Ritik, bro.
comment.
Couldn't put
People,
that better.
people
I
comment.
commented. I'm very guilty of it because there was important cat and chat material that I needed, bro. Okay, sue me for being guilty, but it was important. It didn't help. That's a very different thing. But
Get it.
one can only hope, bro. One can only hope.
But after you commented it, that I actually like it was an automatic DM I feel which reached to you and
Yeah,
sent
yeah,
you.
yeah. The link. I mean, it was very stupid. It is very stupid to do that. Very disgusting, as Ritwik said. मतलब है तो डाल ही देना. Why do you want this attention behavior? कि no, you DM me, bro. Then only I'll do. What is this, bro?
Sliding into DMs,
You need
sliding
to.
in, making people slide
Like
Yeah,
it's
in.
yeah. I
not
mean, it's
even
just too
there's
stupid.
no point. There's not even engagement bait. It's not like people are getting paid from it. It's why?
Yeah. I mean, if you have something worth it, post it there. People will automatically comment saying thank you so much for this, and you're getting a better reach, bro.
What advice would you guys like to give your younger versions or your juniors or your seniors? How in like a 5 step process, how to use LinkedIn effectively achieve what they want?
I think the most important part is firstly being observant, curious, and real. You need to get that clarity in what content you have or where what you do it, and not just try to perform. Like where you want to be or you reach somewhere. I think just being observant, curious, and more real, staying focused is the first part. Then it's all about upskilling yourself. Learn, get your experiences before you actually talk about something, because that adds value. Connect, you will have more credibility first. And yeah, again, visibility versus your self branding. That is also again important. Uh, just because your posts have a lot of impressions does not mean you're growing. Uh, it's more about also staying silent so that you can build that current base for yourself. And that base can only be built or mostly be built in private. And speak publicly, definitely, but don't in an echo chamber.
Imagine that I would want to keep this simple, but some of the things that I wish I had done back then, some of the things that I aspire to keep doing is A, take a lot of photos of things that you are performing or doing when you're in your college, especially stuff like when you were presenting or when you're talking to an audience, when you are communicating. All of these things are things that will matter to you later down the line when you look back. I feel like that's a good thing that LinkedIn can capture, would be the right place for LinkedIn to capture. Make sure you give yourself opportunity to do that. Not just, this is not just about LinkedIn, but just about life in general, that you give yourself opportunity to be able to perform while you are somewhat ignorant, you are somewhat naive, and give yourself that base to go off of. Second would be use those photos as a display of who you are. It's 1A, probably not second. Second would be, don't be afraid to reach out. I feel like a lot of people would follow somebody, not connect, or would not message somebody. There are a lot of people on the internet who are famous in real life and are also active participants in communication. So, for example, a person like Mark Cuban has a public email address where you can email him and get a response from him in real time. It's not 100%. There are instances where people have received responses from him. So I would say don't be afraid to reach out, find out as much as you can, and to know what you don't know, you first need to accept that you don't know things. And um, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. I feel like that's cheesy, but it's true. The third
That's
thing would
okay.
be that professionally, LinkedIn is not going to add anything to your life. It's like drinking water while you're eating. It's sure you do need to drink water, but that's not your entire meal. You're going to have to add nutrients to your life. You need to upskill by yourself. It can be in stealth, it can be something that you do while telling everybody that you're doing it, but make sure that this age, that's like starting at 14 to ending at never, you are somebody who has to perform in life. Keep doing. Jump first, think second is the best thing I could have told myself. It's the thing that I tell myself every single day in the morning.
I think Ritvik, you captured a lot. I missed on networking. Yeah, definitely reach out to people. There are many people out there who are willing to help you. Uh, if you don't get a reply, just message again. Be shameless. I think you need it more than they would need you. So feel free to reach out. And yeah, Ritvik, thanks a lot for the post and the photos ka part, yaar. Matlab, I don't think I have many photos from my college days actually doing stuff, but those behind the scenes
Yeah.
really help. If not others, then at least yourself. You go through it. Oh, I could do this. And if I was here at say point zero, that was my starting point. I should have been here. 5 years down the line, and then you know that you need to course correct. So thanks a lot for that. Yeah, that's a really valid point.
One additional question that I would ask you both, because I know how much you guys are, you guys love reading and you guys love debating. Both of you all were a part of an amazing committee in our college, and that's how I know about it. This is very random question, but if you were to give like some content that people should watch in terms of personal character development or professional character development. It could be a podcast, it could be a book, it could be any person just listening to speech or something. YouTube channel. Which what would that advice be?
So there's this podcast by Guy Kawasaki on Spotify. That's a channel platform I used to listen to it. That's very interesting. He talks a lot about there are different personalities that come into the show. They speak about many things under the sun, and it's very, very engaging. There's also Talks by Google, which is a podcast that I often listen to. And in terms of books, I think, again, wide array, but Educated by Tara Westover is a very, very inspirational book to start. Uh, it's really inspiring from her. You learn a lot from her journey as well. And if there's uh, if there's any other thing that I would suggest, it's talking about what's it called, keynote speeches from different yeah keynote speeches from different colleges or universities. I think that is something I would suggest.
We will definitely put these references in the description below so that
Ritvik,
the
your
audience
turn.
can go and check these things out.
I am very random when it comes to content consumption. It's all over the place. Michael Reeves is one of the YouTubers that I do consistently follow. He's not very consistent at posting, but I feel like that I love that spirit that he has. When it comes to one singular piece of content that I can recommend is a Steve Jobs video. It's a graduation like commencement speech from I think from Stanford, where he talks about his history, and it's not a very long video, but once every year I think, or maybe once every couple of years, I find myself I come across that video and I feel like there is something inside me that just turns again. It's one of the most well put speeches that I've seen. And along with that, there's actually a second commencement video by Mark Rober, um, that I would recommend. These are two speeches that I would religiously rewatch that I do think would contribute a lot to my own mental state when I'm thinking about things. But besides that, it's another podcast that we can do about content.
So we
Yeah, I
have
mean, I
a
just
podcast in line with Ritvik.
okay, guys. So it was a fun conversation with all of y'all. I feel like our audience I think, have known more about how they could use LinkedIn to reach out and to just to be themselves and learn through the process. Um, I hope you guys had fun as much as we did hosting you all, and we look forward to having you all again for some other episode soon. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Ritvik. Thank you, Jason. It was fun.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having us here. I think it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.